back to Speak Candidly. Here's Brandy and Adam.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Speak Candidly. I am Brandy, and this is Adam. And this is where we speak to you about anything we want. Hi, babe.
How you doing, beautiful?
I'm doing good today. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
So today we're going to do our 2026 top 20 all-time favorite HBO shows.
And we're going to do it in draft format, right? So you're going to select, then I'm going to select, you're going to select. So when we did this list, we didn't know what the other one picked.
Right.
So there's a chance, just like with any draft format, that one of us snakes a show that the other one wanted. And why are you looking at me like that?
Because I know that I did. I know I did.
I don't know.
There were ones that I knew you were going to pick that I stayed away from because I know how much they mean to you.
Yeah.
And there was one that I was like, I'm taking this one. You can't have this one.
I mean, I've done a lot of drafts before, so I'm pretty good at knowing where these things are going to go.
Yeah.
But we'll find out.
Yes, we will. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Number one pick for our 2026 favorite HBO show of all time for me is Last Week Tonight.
I actually had that as third on my list.
I figured.
I thought I would get away with it. I figured there was a couple of others that you might put ahead of it, so I was like, all right.
So you knew I was going to take it.
I knew you would take it at some point.
Okay.
I kind of thought, there's a chance she'll have it in her top 3.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe I could get away with it, having it third. Or I thought about putting it second. I did not think you would have it number 1.
I put it number 1 because I knew you were probably going to choose it too. So I was like, I'm taking it early.
I mean, you had the first pick. You picked a good show.
It is a good show. It's a really good show. Very comical. It takes all of the news in one week and just gives it to you in one day. So...
Yeah, John Oliver, who I think is the best of the late night comedy talking heads, news, the late night shows. He does the best job.
Yes.
And the fact that it's on HBO, they can swear. To me, they have the best research staff.
They do. He has a good team. He has a good team behind him.
Yeah, got a great team, and especially their lawyers.
Oh my God, yeah.
I love the fact that every word that they use is handcrafted and gone through the lawyers to make sure, because they've been sued a number of times.
Oh my God, yeah.
And every single time they've won.
They win, and not only do they win, but he makes a mockery of it on the show, which is just brilliant.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah, and some of the funny things, he constantly makes fun of whoever owns HBO at the time, whatever company. And he what does he call them? Their business daddy?
Yeah.
And he mocks whoever owns them at the time.
Yep. I can't wait. No.
Well, I think, what is it? Paramount now, right? And I think he's already started mocking them.
Yeah.
So, but it is the funniest one of all of them.
Yes.
The most well-written.
Yes.
And he just does and a lot of times he will do good as well.
He does a lot of good, yeah. But he also does the most insane things.
Yes.
Remember when the very last Blockbuster in the entire world was going to go out of business and they had memorabilia from movies and he bought it all and then auctioned it off for a good cause? So funny. So funny.
But he's also very self-deprecating at times.
Oh, always.
He's had, and whenever they do stuff like this, he highlights it on the show. One of them, in Australia, they named a koala chlamydia ward after him, the John Oliver, right?
Yeah.
Koala chlamydia ward.
Isn't there a sewage plant?
A sewage plant that they named after him, and he went to the opening of the sewage plant. It's very self-deprecating, and it is hilarious.
Good show.
Great show.
Good show.
All right. I mean, that honestly, that deserves to be number 1. Now, I have, aside from our list as well, I took the top 25 from Esquire. So I have their list here. That one actually came in at number 15.
Okay.
Which, that's way too low. That one deserves to be higher. All right. With the second pick in the 2026 HBO TV show draft, I select The Wire.
I knew you would. I knew it. I first of all, you got me into The Wire.
Yeah.
And because you loved it so much, you read a book about it. You were obsessed with it. I was like, no, I'm not touching this one because that is that's yours.
I had to put that number 1 just because that one could not be snaked from me. I had to have that. That is my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
And the first season of it, to me, is the best single season of any show ever.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love it. It's not a good guy, bad guy. It's about drug dealers and the cops who are trying to bust them in Baltimore.
Right.
But it's not good guy, bad guy.
No, it's corruption. It's just corruption.
It's corruption. They show the good and the bad from like both sides.
Yeah.
And it's just very real life. And it's just very real and really good. And the cast is really kind of star-studded.
Now
it is. It wasn't at the time.
No.
But it's got Idris Elba. He plays one of the main characters, although he really wasn't the Idris Elba that we know now when he did it.
Right.
It's got Michael B. Jordan, and he was a kid.
I know. And he did such a good job.
I did a great job. And honestly, the scene, I don't want to, spoiler here, he ends up getting, like, shot and killed at one point in it, which just about everybody does.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, every time I watch that, I'm like, no, not Michael B. Jordan.
I know.
It's also got Michael K. Williams, who plays Omar, who is one of my favorite characters in any show ever.
You have to root for him.
He's like a terrible dude.
Yeah.
And yet you just root for him.
You do. Yeah.
So hard. And like the scene where he's on trial.
Yeah.
He's in court. That's just an amazing scene. But yeah, so The Wire is my all-time favorite show that had to be number one on my list.
And I feel like we've kind of watched over the years now, like Michael B. Jordan as an actor.
Yeah.
And his growth, just to see him win with Sinners, because that was amazing too. He's so talented. He was that talented back then too. Yeah. Just to see him develop his craft has been such an amazing ride.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the biggest artists on the planet now. And back then, he was just a kid.
And yet at the same time, he's so down to earth. You know, like when he was able to he bought his parents a house and then he lived with them for years because he just loves his parents, which I think is so awesome. You know, he doesn't get tied up in all the other stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And my next one is 6 Feet Under.
I have never watched that one, but that is number 17 on the Esquire list.
Okay. So my mom and I used to watch this one together. And it's basically this dysfunctional family. The father was a funeral director and he passes away. The, I believe, oldest son was kind of estranged from everybody. The youngest son, who is closeted and struggling with his identity, takes over the business and wants so badly to make his father proud and is dealing with his own religious issues. And then his older brother comes home and they all kind of have issues. They feel kind of abandoned in their own ways by him. And he feels some sort of way about the family. And they all see their dad or the mom, I think, can see the dad and talk to the dad, which is just weird. It's a really good show because it really just kind of revolves around that dysfunctional but working family, and it talks about topics that are difficult topics, including death.
Yeah, like I said, I've never seen it. I think I've heard of it, but sounds like a pretty good show. Might have to check it out.
Yeah, it's good.
So number 4 in the 2026 HBO TV show draft, I selected The Newsroom.
Oh, that's a good one. That's such a good one. We loved that one.
So we only watched it last year. It was from, I think, 2011 to 2013, around that time. I had kept seeing the clip, from the opening episode with Jeff Daniels. So he was at the college. They're asking, he's a newscaster, and they ask him why, what makes America the greatest country in the world, and he first, tries to avoid it. Yeah. With some humor. And then he finally just says America's not the greatest country in the world, and then just starts rambling off why and just shuts everybody up. Right. And I kept seeing that clip online. Yeah. And I absolutely loved it. I saw it so much I finally was like, all right, I got to find out where this is from. Looked at it was from The Newsroom. Said, babe, we got to watch this. Yeah. And we did. And it was only 3 seasons. But it was absolutely incredible. And I think the best part about it was, again, we watched this 12 or 13 years after it was created. And yet the political topics in it, the representation of America was spot on today. Yeah. And the fact that they were calling this stuff out over a decade ago. I know. Of all the problems that are going on. Yep. Was just, and the short of it is, it is a newsroom. Yep. He is the main anchor of it, but it's all about the whole staff and the events in America. They touch on a lot of actual stuff that happened with real people, and then they also touch on they have some other manufactured stories.
Right.
But just the way that they handle it and how it was just so representative of like what we're going through today.
Yes.
Was just incredible.
Just amazing. So if you have watched it, you should probably watch it again.
Watch it again, yeah.
And if you haven't, you got to check it out.
Check it out. Yeah.
Please check it out.
Highly recommend.
Yes, definitely check that out. Heavy hitters in the cast as well. You've got Olivia Munn.
Right.
You've got Jeff Daniels.
Yep.
Jane Fonda.
Yes.
There's others. There's so much. There's quite a few others in there too. So definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Highly, highly recommend.
Good.
All right, what's your next
Good pick. All right, so we're on to 5. I have Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones was amazing.
Except for the ending.
Except for the last season. But that's the way I feel it is for a lot of series that I get into. If I do get into them and I really get that into them, then I obsess over them.
Maybe it's you.
And maybe it's my neurodivergence. No. I feel like every ending, I like that last season. There are series that I literally will just stop watching it. I'll stop watching it. I don't care how obsessed I've gotten with it. It's that disappointing. I'm like, I can't do this.
What was it? 8 seasons?
Yeah.
And I want to say the first 6 were just amazing.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 kind of fell off.
Yeah.
And the ending of it was just terrible.
Yeah.
You had watched it before me.
Yep.
And then when we started dating, you were like, babe, we have to watch this show.
Yeah. I was like, have you ever seen because I didn't get into it right away. And people that I worked with would always talk about it. But I was like, it doesn't, they were like, oh, it's like medieval and they're zombie kind of, and I was like, they're dragons. I mean, it didn't sound like it was boring, obviously. It didn't sound like as intriguing as it really actually is. And then I got into it. I watched it and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Except for the incest.
Yeah. That trauma of, oh my God, they're twins. Oh my God.
Which I really wish you would have warned me before.
No, everybody has to go through that trauma.
You don't.
Of, oh my God.
You don't, though. That's the thing. Because I will never forget. It's a very in-depth show. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of different houses. And they throw it all at you. So I remember watching the first season and just trying to like keep everything organized and figure out who was from what house and how they're, related to each other, how they know each other. And there was a sex scene and I'm looking at the 2 characters trying to figure out, where they're both from. And then it clicked with me and I'm like, oh my God, they're brother and sister twins. What is going on? And I remember just looking over at you. And you just had that shit-eating grin that, you figured it out.
You're experiencing the trauma.
Yes.
Because it's traumatic. It's traumatic.
So I highly recommend if you have not watched it, watch it. But just know there's some incest shit in this show.
A lot of it, actually. There's a lot of it. But it's such a good series.
Oh, it's a great series. It is. It is a great fantasy series.
The thing about you have to understand though is like that was so common with royalty because they thought that that's how you kept the bloodline strengthened. And I know that we understand science now.
I don't care.
Right. And we know, and especially, you look at the Habsburgs. Whew, this was how people were back then.
I know, but I could do without that.
I agree with you 100%. I'm glad that we figured it out.
Do you think that George R.R. Martin finishes
No.
the last book?
No, I don't.
Yeah, me neither. So, number 6 of the 2026 HBO TV show draft, I select The Pit.
I was so excited to go for like nostalgic ones that I completely forgot about The Pit. So you win on that because that is such a great series. And I am so happy. And it's weird because that you have it and I don't. Because I'm always the one that's like, do you want to watch it? Do you want to watch an episode? Do you want to watch an episode? Do you want to watch an episode? And you're always like, not right now.
Well, because it's a very heavy show.
What's what I like about it though?
And it sucks you in and that's good. But I don't want to watch a heavy show. Like, I don't want to binge watch that. I like to binge watch light shows.
Yeah.
Not something that heavy.
Okay.
So I'll watch an hour of it and then I've had enough for the night. We'll watch the next one tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we're almost done with the second season. It's not quite over yet. I think it's got 2 weeks left.
I think so, yeah.
But it's about an emergency room in a hospital in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And it is a 15-hour shift. And all of the doctors and the nurses and the patients And it is a very real show.
It's very gritty.
Very gritty,
Mm-hmm.
but just, kind of reality based. And it is just excellent.
It really is. It really is.
And what's his name? The character, the main
Noah Wiley.
Noah Wiley
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. In
Mm-hmm.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that. Number 7 for me is The Leftovers.
I had never even heard of this one,
Mm-hmm.
but yet on the Esquire list, it was ranked number 3.
Yes.
So it must be good.
Only 3 seasons.
Okay.
And it basically takes place in a small town. The rapture happens.
Mm.
And then it literally is all the people that are left and them dealing with the fact that they're left, knowing that why they're left,
Mhm.
but also not really truly understanding what's going on, and just trying to deal with all of that. And it was so well done. So well done. Loved it.
So not Thanos.
Not Thanos.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like a good show. I don't know how I've never heard of it.
So what our audience has to understand when he says that there's a lot to that. It's not just the fact that it's very similar to the snap of Thanos.
Mhm.
So we do rehearse these somewhat. We don't script them. We just kind of go off the cuff. We love to have just conversations. But the entire time that we're trying to kind of go through it, I'm trying to think about what I'm saying. You're like Thanos, Thanos, Thanos.
Well, you just said half of everybody just disappears.
And I just couldn't get my thoughts. And then they just were gone.
And you didn't say the word rapture, so all that kept coming into my head was Thanos. Thanos.
And all you could
Thanos.
think was Thanos, so this
Yeah.
is all I'm seeing in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're telling me it wasn't Thanos.
It wasn't Thanos.
Okay. That was good to know. So, number 8 in the 2026 HBO TV show draft. I have The Last of Us.
Oh, man. I wanted that one. You don't like The Last of Us? You never want to watch it. You're not allowed to have that one.
No. I love The Last of Us until that point. And I'm not going to give the spoiler away. But in the second season, there is a traumatic event that happened that I was devastated by.
Yes.
And that is where we kind of cut off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, I need some time to process this.
I know. And you never looked back.
And we never picked it up since then. I think we moved on to some other shows.
The messed up part about it is, like, for a zombie apocalypse, this is more of a reality probability than anything else. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is fungus. And if fungus were able to just evolve and be able to handle temperature, they could do this to us. They do it to ants.
Are you saying that other zombie apocalypse shows and movies are not plausible?
Not in like a rabies sense, because we know even if rabies were to evolve a little bit itself, I don't think that it would be able to respawn someone, right? And this fungus, that's not what it does. It kind of just takes over
Your nervous system.
your whole, yeah, which is just awesome.
Yeah.
Nature's awesome.
Nature is awesome.
And I love that that's what they use. The thing about it, though, is this was a video game that neither one of us actually played.
No, neither of us played it.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
Awesome.
Awesome, dude.
I'll watch anything Pedro Pascal is in.
Absolutely.
My man, Din Djarin. All right, what do you got next?
9.
Number 9.
Autopsy. Now, this wasn't a series like a drama. This was like a docu-series.
Okay.
And it's a very famous forensic pathologist. His name is Michael Baden. And I'm pretty sure, like, I know he did Marilyn Monroe. He didn't do JFK, but I know he talked about JFK. But he would talk about high-profile cases, but he did a lot of high-profile cases. And he would just go over the case and, what they did and what they found, and just loved it. Absolutely. Like, again, it's not for everybody because it's real life. Like,
right.
These are real cases. These are real people. These are real autopsies. But I found it intriguing. I like true crime, so.
You got to be into that type of thing.
Yes.
But if you are, it sounds really intriguing.
It is. It's really, really good. And it's one of those things that even though it was done years ago, you could still watch it because they're some of the most prolific cases.
Yeah.
And it's just so awesome that it's him talking about it, and he's the one who did these cases,
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I'm down with that. Number 10 in 2026 HBO TV show draft. I've got Chernobyl.
I forgot about Chernobyl. That was a good one. That was a really good one.
Yeah, it wasn't a series. It was a
miniseries.
Miniseries. But it was based on the real life Chernobyl, which happened at the time. It was the Soviet Union. Now it's modern day Ukraine. But the Chernobyl nuclear power plant meltdown happened.
Right.
And it was based off of that, which is great because there was enough drama in the reality of that they didn't really need to, manufacture drama for the series. It is incredible, just, the facts itself.
Yeah.
And they play off of that, and it's a really excellent. I was really impressed with it.
They did a great job on it, and aside from doing a great job on it, they were very factual.
Right.
Which I loved because we still don't have all of the reality of how bad that was. So
no, we were just watching something the other night where they were saying that they basically tried to hide it, and then a couple days later in France, there's a nuclear power plant where the employees started like coming into work, and all of the scanners started going off. And they started thinking like, oh my God, we have a leak.
Yeah.
And they checked all of their equipment and realized everything is secure here. That's where they realized that this isn't coming from us. And it was literally coming from Ukraine down to France, downwind. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And then that's when it became public. And that's when, Russia, Soviet Union at the time, finally was like, all right, you got us. It was us.
Right. Speaking of, when I was younger, I took a natural science course and we did a tour of a nuclear power plant. And I was actually I went in, it's like half your body goes into the machine and then you turn on and your other half of the body goes in the machine, and you have to do it before you go into the building. And then you do it every so many feet, like especially when you're going through different rooms or different parts of the building and before you leave. And it's so freaky. Like we were there on a very interesting time because they were actually cleaning the cylinder thingies, whatever.
The rods?
The rods, thank you. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But they were cleaning the rods, so they actually had them exposed under the water, though. And the guy who was like giving us a tour is like, if the water were to evaporate right now, we'd all be dead. And then he showed us the map where like no one would survive. And I'm just like, I don't want to be here right now. Like, it was such a nerve-wracking day for me. Like, I'm just like, what do I do if this machine goes off? I can't go home. And then I have radiation all over me. And then you're, like, walking through, and they have parts that are, it's just taped off. And they're like, it's taped off there because we don't know if there's contamination there. And you're like, I know how particles work, and it's open air. So how is this space okay that I'm walking by a taped off area? It's just, I hated it.
Sounds like the best field trip ever.
It was torture for me.
Yeah. All right, what do you got? Number 11.
The Nevers. So the Nevers takes place in Victorian London.
Right.
Where something happens and all of a sudden people start to develop powers, mainly women. And the government's trying to suppress them because they're women. But it's brilliantly done. And I think there was only 2 seasons to it. And you didn't watch it with me. I watched it by myself. But I loved it. It was really well done.
Okay. Yeah, that's not one I've ever even heard of.
I was really disappointed when they didn't bring it back. It might have even been 1 season, to be honest with you. So, but I thought it was really well done. And I was so disappointed that they didn't bring it back.
With the 12th pick in the 2026 HBO TV show draft, I've got Eastbound and Down.
I don't even know what that is.
It was a show, Danny McBride played Kenny Powers, an ex-baseball player.
Okay.
Who was like a high school gym coach, I think it was. It was a while since I've seen it. But his character, Kenny Powers, is one of the funniest and best characters like in HBO in any series.
Okay.
And he just made that show. And obviously I'm a big, baseball fan, sports fan, so this is not a show that's for everybody. But if you're looking for funny, if you kind of like sports, even if you don't, it's just a really good, funny show.
Okay. 13? Okay. 13 for our 2026 all-time favorite HBO series, The Kids in the Hall.
That's going back.
That is going back. So The Kids in the Hall was the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. I think 95 was when they were done with it.
The sketch show, right?
It was a sketch show, Canadians. You got Dave Foley in there. You've got Kevin McDonald, Mark McKinney. Like, these guys were so brilliant. They acted in them, even played like they were the only actors. So they played female parts, they played male parts. Some of the skits were the dumbest skits. There was this one skit that they used to do where they would literally just sit like this and they would close one eye and put the thumb up so you couldn't see the other person and be like, nobody there or nobody home. Nobody home. And that's it. That's all they did for the entire skit. And I was here for it. I was like, this is awesome. This is funny.
Okay.
I loved it.
All right. I remember it. I never watched it, but I remember it being one of the, the skit shows back then.
Yeah.
You had SNL and Living Color, and I remember Kids in the Hall was one that a lot of people used to watch.
Yeah.
All right. So with the 14th pick in the 2026 HBO TV show draft, I've got Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I did not watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. I think that I might have watched a episode here or there with you, and I very much appreciate the improv that they do because I think improv is brilliant, but I just never got into it.
Yeah, it's Larry David, the creator and writer for Seinfeld, which I was not a Seinfeld fan.
No, I wasn't. I mean, I watched Seinfeld occasionally if there was nothing else on back in the day when you had to find something to watch.
Right. Nothing else on, all right, I'll watch Seinfeld.
Right.
A friend of mine tried to really get me into this. We watched a bunch of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And at the time, I didn't quite appreciate the brilliance of it as much. Like, it was good. It was funny.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that I probably would have watched on my own.
Okay.
Whereas I think as I've gotten a little bit older, I more appreciate the brilliance of it.
Right.
So I'm definitely here for it now.
Okay. 15?
15.
Brain Games. So this isn't like a series that was like a drama or even a docuseries or a miniseries. It was games. And it was cartoons or stop motion, and it would be riddles or it would be like memorization, or it was just so much fun. It was like a half an hour, and I could not get enough of that show. Every time that it was on, even if I've already seen it a billion times, the same episode, whatever, I would watch it. I loved it. No,
not familiar with it. Sounds cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed it a lot. When I was a little bit older, probably my teenage years, they had one. It was more geared towards little kids, though. It was called Crash Box.
Okay.
Same concept, though.
Okay.
It was like just different games and different, but it was, same concept.
With the 16th pick in the 2026 HBO TV show draft, I select Veep.
We watched Veep together.
We did.
And I did not like it.
You were not a fan. I was very much a fan.
I'm not a fan. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is an amazing actress, very talented. I just am not a huge fan of her, and I couldn't get into it. So, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. It's a comedy about the vice president, and it's a very, very funny show. So, a lot of politics, a lot of comedy, but I really liked it. All
right, for 17 of our 2026 all-time favorite HBO shows, I have Flight of the Conchord.
Yes, this one I'm familiar with.
I tried. I think I've tried with every person I know to get them involved, and for the longest time I had convinced myself, because I think it's only like a couple of seasons.
Yeah, it's like 2 seasons, I think, right?
Yeah. I convinced myself that like no one knew what this show was, and I was like the only fan, and this is why it was only 2 seasons. But that's not the case at all, because here we are like almost 20 years later, and Flight of the Conchords is getting back together this year and doing a thing out in LA. And if I had the ability, I would go. But this is not for everyone. So you have 2 guys who moved from New Zealand to New York, and all they want to do is start a band. And the guy that they actually work for is like their manager, but they're paying him, and it's so funny though. And they live in a small community, and it's all people from like New Zealand, and all they talk about is New Zealand, and then every episode they make a song that has to do with something in the episode, but it is the most ridiculous songs. Like, it's not songs that you would hear on the radio. These are not like pop songs, but they are done like pop songs or rap songs, and
Right.
they're brilliantly done. And the comedy is it's high comedy, like, and that's why I think like a lot of times it's like a dumb high because there's a lot of thought that goes into how they do what they do, but it comes off as it's very stupid, and it's really not.
You have tried to get me into it multiple times.
Mhm.
I just could not. I recognize kind of the brilliance of it.
Mhm.
The songs in it they're funny. They're really well done. The style of comedy is just not something that
It's not for everyone.
I really like. But yes, multiple times you've tried to get me. Did you ever get anybody actually into
I
it?
think one person that I ever knew in my entire life was like, "Oh my god, I love that show."
Yeah. But it's a cult classic.
It is. It really is.
I mean, I know of it, and I know that it is a cult classic. I just could not myself get into it.
Yeah.
With the 18th pick of the 2026 HBO TV show draft, I select Barry.
Aw, Barry.
Yeah, we watched that together.
We did. Yeah.
A hitman,
Mm-hmm.
kind of having a midlife crisis.
He pretty much.
Hater,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Funny show. He does a great job.
He really did. He really did a good job on that
Yeah.
character. Played it so well. Complex character.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but he did a great job with it.
yeah, very funny.
Yeah.
Good pick. Very good pick.
Thank you.
All right, for my last one, I'm doing Band of Brothers.
One of the more famous HBO shows.
That I watched that with my dad.
Okay.
And you got a great cast. The cinematography in it was just done so amazing. It's based on World War II, on, a group of guys and what they go through and the war itself, and so brilliantly done. And I know that I had heard, even when I was watching it so many times, like reading articles and just hearing other people talking about it, how it was done so well that it was just like people who had been to war felt that it really captured what it felt like sometimes. Brilliantly done.
Yeah, again, not one that I ever watched, but it is one of the more classic HBO dramas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, it's one I've kind of always wanted to watch.
We should check it out together.
But yeah, I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a date.
So with the 20th and last pick of the 2026 HBO TV show draft, I selected Oz.
I never watched Oz.
We watched Oz in college.
Mhm.
That's how fucking old I am. We would have it on. We had HBO somehow. Somebody's parents had an HBO account.
Mhm.
And we would have it on, kind of all the time. Really good show. Really good show. It's about prison.
Yeah.
Bunch of guys in prison. It's kind of raw,
Uh-huh.
but it was just an excellent, excellent series.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple shows that we left off.
Mhm.
Because I know people are going to be like, where the fuck is The Sopranos?
Yeah. So we left off The Sopranos because we actually never watched The Sopranos, either one of us.
Right.
You caught like one episode, I've caught a couple episodes, but we never actually watched it as a series.
No, I watched one episode with my mother, who is from New Jersey.
Mhm.
And all the cutscenes, whenever they would show clips
Yeah.
of places in New Jersey, all she would fucking do was talk about, oh, I know where that is. That's over in Patterson. That's in, right? And like, I was like, all right, I'm done. I can't watch this. So that kind of turned me off. But honestly, yes, it is one of the great all-time TV shows in general, not even just HBO shows.
Yeah.
So I think if either of us had watched it, it would be, near the top.
100%.
Of our list?
We know we would definitely have been into that show.
Yeah.
So
There were a couple of others. True Detective.
True Detective, we loved the first season.
Yeah. But once Vince Vaughn came in,
We were like, no.
no, he was terrible.
We couldn't, he wasn't playing a great character, and the first season was done so well.
Yeah.
So it was
First season was amazing.
so disappointing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then they just fucked it up with that second season. We watched The Penguin. Ballers is one I think if I had watched, I'd probably like.
Mm-hmm.
Westworld.
I watched Westworld.
Yeah.
I only watched 2 seasons. You only watched one.
I watched one. It was good.
It was really good. It was very well done.
Fell off on that
Yeah.
one. Succession, I fucking hated.
I loved it.
Yeah.
You did. You hated
I
it.
hated it.
Mm-hmm.
Entourage is one I loved. I had the full box set.
Mhm.
I watched all the seasons.
I'm surprised that you didn't put it on here. I was honestly anticipating that from you.
It's a show, it didn't really age well
See, I never watched it, so I have no idea.
I was in my 20s
Yeah.
when I watched it, and it's just one of those shows that you look back at now, and it didn't age well. It's kind of cringy, so that's why I left it off of my list. If we're talking about shows,
because you have evolved, my dear.
Because I have evolved as a person. If one of the shows, if we were going by the shows that we've watched the most of or whatever, it definitely would have made the list. I toyed with putting it on the list, and I just didn't. Silicon Valley's another one.
Oh, I watched that.
See, I didn't, and I'm in software.
You would love it.
So I'm sure I would.
Yes.
I've just never watched it. True Blood. That's one I kind of want to pick up.
We should definitely check that out.
Yeah.
I only watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes, and they were good.
Yeah.
My mom used to watch it.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get into it at the time.
Winning Time, a show about Magic Johnson and the Lakers dynasty.
No.
That's a new one.
Oh, okay.
So, but I've heard really good things about it. So
Okay.
that's one I wouldn't mind. The Young Pope and the New Pope. What they said on the Esquire list was actually, they kind of raved about it a little bit.
Mhm.
They said the Young Pope is probably better than the New Pope. I guess one evolves into the other.
Okay.
They said the Young Pope was really, really well done. New Pope wasn't quite as good. But I think is one that we, could definitely pick up.
Okay.
And then Watchmen.
So I had watched a couple of the episodes of Watchmen, but I just couldn't get into it. And it's a shame because I love comics.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the movie.
Right.
I just didn't.
Get into it?
Couldn't get into the series. Yeah.
Okay. So the Esquire list, now they had 50. I only captured the top 25. They had number 1, The Wire. Number 2, Sopranos. Number 3, Leftovers, which was on your list.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Succession.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hated it. Number 5, Veep. Number 6, Deadwood.
Deadwood, my parents used to watch too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 7, Band of Brothers. That was your list.
Mhm.
Number 8, Curb Your Enthusiasm. My list.
Mhm.
Number 9, Game of Thrones. Your
Mhm.
list. Number 10, Sex and the City. Not my type of show.
I'd never watched Sex and the City. I caught episodes here and there, and I did watch the movies. I liked it. I also know that there was a lot of stupid drama that happened with that cast, and that totally turned me off to the whole thing. And
number 11 was Barry. Number 12, Larry Sanders Show. Number 13, True Detective. Number 14, Insecure.
Insecure, I watched. I don't even think I watched a full season of it. I did watch a couple episodes though. Very funny. Very, very funny.
Okay. Number 15, Last Week Tonight. Number 16, White Lotus. Number 17, 6 Feet Under. That was yours. Number 18 was Oz. That was on mine. Number 19, Last of Us. Number 20 was Industry.
No.
Number 21 was Chernobyl. Number 22 was Boardwalk Empire. Another one I kind of like to check out.
Yeah, that one I've heard was really, really, really good. Yeah.
Number 23, May I Destroy You.
Mm-mm.
Number 24, Hacks. And number 25, Watchmen.
I did watch one season of White Lotus, and that was pretty decent. And every season, I guess, goes to a different hotel with a different group of crazy people.
Yeah.
But the first season was decent.
There were a couple of others that I debated putting on. I ended up not.
Okay.
Tales from the Crypt.
I thought about that one too, but I couldn't remember if I actually watched it on HBO or if I watched it somewhere else, because I thought for a while there it was also on regular TV, and I could be really, really wrong about that. And it's just me, but we used to watch that as a family actually.
Yeah. I think it was originally an HBO show. So
yes, it was definitely it actually probably always had been an HBO show to think about it. And then there were movies that came out from it, but yes, we used to watch that all the time.
Def Comedy Jam was another one.
I used to watch that.
And then 2 that didn't start on HBO.
Okay.
Sesame Street.
Yes, and now it's on HBO, which that's our childhood.
And Fraggle Rock.
Again, our childhood.
Yeah.
Loved Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
That was such an awesome show.
Yeah. So those were some honorable mentions.
Good job. I love that. So let us know what your favorite HBO shows are, because we would love to hear from you guys.
I don't give a shit.
I want to hear from you guys. Come on.
Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed our list. We enjoyed doing it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can find us on every major podcasting platform. And until next time.
Bye, everybody.